Hello, 8th graders. As you can see from the slide in front of you, we, as a team of 8th grade teachers, myself, Miss Brown, Miss Nitty, and Miss Stark, are going to be changing Fridays. And I hope that that piques your interest. So across the board, all 8th graders in our school are going to be doing something different on Fridays than we've been doing previously. If you're an October start, you need not worry about what we were previously doing, and we're going to move forward together with this experience. But if you've been here since September, this will look different for you. So our video today is going to be talking about what our Fridays are now going to look like going forward. Excuse me. So as you can see from the screen, you can probably guess or maybe infer that we are going to be looking at nonfiction on Fridays. Every Friday, we're going to stop what we're doing in our unit and we're going to take a look at nonfiction, okay? So you might be thinking, how? Okay, so every Friday when you come on to your plan tab of our D2L, of our class page, you're going to see something different than the traditional K-12 lesson that you've had so far this year. So your Monday through Thursday lessons, they'll still look the same. You'll move through them the same way that you've always moved through them. But again, your Fridays are going to look different, okay? Each Friday, you're going to start by watching a video. This will be a video similar to this one here in front of you, that you will be looking at a screen and one of the 3 English teachers will be teaching you something. And we'll be teaching you something specific to reading and understanding nonfiction. Okay, so different strategies, tips, tricks, tools, all of the things that are going to help you grow as a reader when it comes to nonfiction reading. Okay, so you'll start with a video lesson like this one. Then you will have a nonfiction text that you need to read. We will give it to you and it will be on your D2L just like a lesson. You'll be able to click on the text that we provide for you, whatever that nonfiction article is. And you're going to use your close reading strategies or read it as carefully as you can for understanding. Sorry, I got distracted. I apologize. And then number 3, the third thing that you're going to do is you're going to have a quiz, usually, maybe sometimes an assignment, but mostly a quiz on the nonfiction text that you just read. Okay, so each Friday will flow exactly in the same way, where you'll have some kind of video lesson, you will have a nonfiction article to read, or nonfiction text to read, and a quiz or assignment on that nonfiction article. Okay? Why? Why are we doing this? Why are we making this change? The number one reason that I can tell you as to why we are putting so much focus on nonfiction, and it is that it is a life skill. It's not a language arts skill. It's not an English skill. It is a life skill in so many ways. It's a life skill in the sense that you will use these strategies as you move forward through high school and beyond into college if you choose. But you will use them in your daily life as an adult all the time. In fact, when you become an adult, statistics show that most of your reading, by quite a large number, I think it was 70 to 80%, I can't remember, most of your reading as an adult is nonfiction. You're going to be reading news article or nonfiction information, especially as it comes at you across social media. It might be about presidents, or it might be about things that are happening in the events or in the news. There's quite a bit of that happening right now with the election coming up. And so this skill, the ability to read carefully and understand nonfiction information as it comes at you, is not just an English skill, but like I said, a life skill. Okay? That's the number one reason we're focusing on this, because we want to make you great adults. Okay? The number 2 reason is that it is a tested skill. So on your MCA tests and on your STAR 360 reading test that we'll take again at the end of the year to measure your growth this year, it is a tested skill, and it's also tested as you go forward into high school when you look at taking your SATs and your ACTs. It's a heavily tested skill. So we want you to be successful with that. We want you to be able to read a passage and take those tests and get them correct and do a good job with that. So that's the number 2 reason that we are learning how to read nonfiction more effectively and efficiently. The number 3 reason is that when you were younger, throughout elementary school, even early middle school, you were learning how to read. Okay, you were learning how to read fiction, you're learning how to read nonfiction, you're learning how to understand new words in context and learning how to understand, storylines and plot elements and characters. But the older you get, especially now that you're in 8th grade, but going forward into high school and college, you're not learning how to read anymore. You are reading to learn. Sorry, excuse me. What that means is when you are in your social studies classes or your science classes or your English classes or even your math classes, especially in this online setting, you are reading the information to learn it, okay, to gain knowledge. Being able to read nonfiction well means that you're gaining more knowledge in every single class you take, okay, across the board. And so that's the 3rd reason why this is a really, really important skill, okay? Hopefully I have convinced you at this point how important it is. I bet I have. Okay, so this is why we're doing this. We really, really think it's an important skill for you to have and be able to do well, and that's why every Friday we are going to focus on nonfiction, okay? Okay, where will you find this information? So this is a picture of Miss Brown's October page, and if you are one of my students, don't worry, these are going to get filled in very, very soon. But you will find the links to your nonfiction lessons right on the Plan tab under the date. So today is Friday the 5th, and while it doesn't look like it's here, I created the video before I could post the video. So on yours, you're going to see a link to this video, okay? And then starting on the 12th, you'll see the video, and then you'll see the article, and you'll see the quiz in a lesson form right here each Friday. So just as you click on your lesson at the top here, you're going to click through to go through your nonfiction lesson, okay? All right, so that is the where. Okay, quick example of what's going to be happening, what this might look like for you next week. So we're not jumping into an article today. We're not jumping into any quizzes today. Some of you are like, whew, right? But next week on the 12th, we will start and you will have a lesson and you will have an article similar to this one and you will have a quiz. Okay, so this isn't just an example. So for example, a video lesson might be on how important it is to read the headings within nonfiction articles before and while you read. And that lesson might teach you these tips and tricks and they'll share with you why those things are important, okay? It will likely teach you that these headings help you make predictions about what you're going to read and then check your understanding, like good readers do, as they read, to make sure that you're still thinking the same thing you thought when you started, or that you're still understanding what you're reading as you go. Okay? So you might get a lesson on something like that. Okay? That one's a little bit basic, but you get the idea. Okay? And then you'll be asked to go ahead and read through the article. Okay, so you would read The Character of an Athlete, Pride versus Ego. Okay, and you would read through this article and you would do all your best close reading strategies. You may want to print it and write all over the page so that you can use your close reading strategies. You may want to use Post-its to write your thoughts or write your summaries of what you're understanding while you read. All of those good reading strategies that we know are good for us as learners. Okay, so that'll be your second step to actually go through and read the article carefully. And then the final step will be to take the quiz. okay, that go along with it. Usually it will be a 4-question quiz that you will take about what you have read. Okay, sometimes there'll be something different. You might have to write a summary of nonfiction, for example, and you might have to turn that in, but most of the time it will actually just be a quiz, okay? Sorry, my phone is going off. Okay, so continuing on beyond that distraction. So then what? What do you do when you finish the quiz? We are estimating as teachers that this is going to take you quite a bit less time than your traditional everyday lessons take you. So your Monday through Thursday lessons are longer. They go through a lot more content and they're going to take you more time. So we envision that Friday will be a shorter lesson for nonfiction. And then we want you to spend some time in stride, okay? If you are in Miss Nitty's class or you're in Miss Brown's class, you might be thinking, well, we haven't done anything with Stride, and that is true. and we are going to start using Stride now that we have kind of a good day where we can implement it and it doesn't feel extra. And I know that Miss Stark is also going to be trying to switch some of the stuff to Friday, so everything feels really manageable for everybody, okay? So you may be thinking, I'm not sure what that is just yet, and know that if you are not introduced to what Stride is, Miss Nitty and myself, Miss Brown, we will be sharing that information out with you next week, okay? But you're going to find Stride right on your class homepage, so where you would normally go to click on your 8LA class, or you would find your science or social studies. You know, this is Miss Brown's view, so this is all my classes. But you are going to click right on Stride right from here, just like a traditional class. Okay, and it looks like a regular class homepage too if you haven't logged into that yet. And that's where you'll find your daily Friday assignment of what we each expect from you. So Miss Stark might have a different assignment than Miss Brown has. So you just look and say, okay, well, who's my teacher? My teacher is Miss Brown. I'm going to click on the lesson that she has. Okay. In fact, every single 8th grade student is in this exact same class. And that's why you're going to find in the plan tab that one says Miss Stark, one says Miss Nitty, and one says Miss Brown. Okay. And so you'll just have to look and see, okay, today is Friday. What lesson do I do on Stride? And who's my teacher? And when you click on that, it'll take you then to that lesson and that activity. So that, and it's really meant to be more fun. It's really game based. And we've heard a lot of great feedback from kids who are wanting to do more than even what the system is telling them to do because they find it kind of fun. It's a game. So we are hoping that this Friday day can be a little bit more fun then for you in your lessons. Okay, so after you finish your nonfiction article, you've read it and you've taken your quiz, then we want you to spend some time in Stride, and that's where you're going to practice all kinds of English skills. You might practice some language arts skills where you're practicing some writing skills, and you might practice some reading skills, maybe nonfiction, maybe fiction, but again, just growing as a reader and writer. But it's kind of like playing a game, so I think it'll be fun. Okay, so questions. You may have some questions here after you watch this video of what's going to happen next, why, where, how, when. And if you do have any questions, I encourage you to reach out to your English teacher and send them an email with that question, and we're happy to answer any questions that we receive, okay? But hopefully this video has helped to show you that next Friday when we start this officially, you'll have a video lesson, you'll have a nonfiction article to read, a quiz to take, and finally some practice in Stride. Okay, our English Stride. Okay, so again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us about anything at any time. We're here to help. Otherwise, that is the end of this video for today. And for today, that does mean if you have Miss Stark, please go ahead and jump into Stride and get going on your lessons. And if you have Miss Brown and Miss Nitty, we'll be sharing that information about Stride with you next week. So for today, we would really like you to go back. We're at the end of a unit. We finished Unit 1, and we're at the end of that unit. We're starting a new unit. We're starting Unit 2 on Monday. So this is a great opportunity for you to take this time to go back, look at your grades, look them up in English class. What are your grades? Is there a quiz that you want to retake because you did not do well on? Let's do that. Do that today. Okay, it's a great opportunity for that. Are you missing your memoir or are you missing any other assignment? Do that today. Get that done today so that we can start Unit 2 fresh and ready to go, that we don't have old assignments hanging over our heads, okay? So if you are feeling like you're caught up, there's no quizzes you want to retake, you have no missing assignments, then you get to just relish. I call it catch up and relish, right? You get to relish in that and just, relax. If you need to catch up, please use this time that we've built in for you to go ahead and get caught up on anything that you have or redo. Redo, make your assignments better, make your quizzes better, get the grade you really want to get. And now is a great time to do that. Do that today. Okay. Again, if you have any questions about anything at all, if you want to retake a quiz and you want some support or some help, if you want help with your memoir, anything that you're needing, reach out to us as your English teachers and we are happy to help you with that. Okay. Otherwise, I want everybody to have a fabulous weekend and we will start our new unit on Monday. Take care, everybody.